Hello, I hope you're doing great. So apparently I didn't do a English video since a long time, and today is maybe a good opportunity to do one. I had a question asked by a friend on Instagram. Let's call him Jack. I'm going to change his name, of course. And he was asking a question, and I promised that I would put a few cards and put the reading on YouTube. So let's do it. His question was quite simple. Jack was asking what the cards would say about opening a page of tarot and Lenormand on Instagram. So kind of a page dedicated to that. That didn't explain more, so we don't know exactly what are the motivations here. Might be just for pleasure, might be reading for others for free, or might be the first step to something more professional. We don't know. So it's kind of, let's see what the cards have to say about that. I'm going to do a 3 by 3, a little bit like I would do with Lenormand. I'll explain the lines as soon as I put the cards. And let's see what we get. So let's ask what Jack should know about opening a Instagram tarot and Lenormand page. Okay, let's put the cards on the side and we will pick them. So, getting the 3 of Wands, Justice, and the Queen of Wands. For me, this 9 is why was the foundations. Why was the question asked? What should we know about the motivations? What was eventually done in the past? So what is the question based on? What is the reading about? Second line that I'm putting now is the 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups, and 5 of Wands. For me, this is the present. What is done now or soon, extended present, what the person is doing, the action taken right now, or where it's going. And the last line at the bottom for me is the near future, where all this is leading. And we get the Knight of Swords, 8 of Wands, and the last card is the Queen of Cups. So basically, if we look at this reading in a different way, we could say that being the foundations now and later, it could be seen also like the 3 main questions we usually ask when we do a reading, which is why. Why was the question asked? Why? What are the motivations? What in the way that what is done now? What action are taken? And how to get there? Where's the leading? So if we start with the top, what do we see first? We have the 3 of Wands, which is a card which is kind of interesting to start this kind of looking forward, which goes very well with the question here. Question is about knowing a little bit what that page would give, and getting your 3 of Swords to start it is like I'm testing the waters for the moment. I'm testing what I'm going to do. It's kind of the person looking forward into that sea. We can see here at the bottom there are boats here, so it's kind of looking activity of what's going on. Maybe he tried already a few things and he's waiting for the results. He's kind of looking at where this is going and how he could plan, become creative for the future. It's all that planning that goes through the mind and trying to put some things into action. And that leads immediately to Justice. Justice, of course, being kind of a natural card after this one, because it's judging, trying to take the right decisions and so on, which is absolutely normal after getting the Three of Wands. As the Three of Wands is looking forward at what could be done and so on, of course, it's several ideas that have been tested probably or looking at, and Justice is going to sort through this to try to find what should be implemented or not, of course. So it's kind of a good start here, I believe, for the question. Like the person is really with a clear head, like I said, Justice is going to sort through all this, and we get the Queen of Wands following it. He's here. Queens for me is about patience, even if it's Wands, which is kind of active. Queens are kind of patience for me. They're sitting. You see, the Queen is sitting here on the throne, in control of herself, even if she has a wand in her hand. And wands are about action, fire, all that kind of stuff. We see here kind of a restraint. Not much difference in between these two cards when we look at them. You get Justice here with the sword in hand, and then you get the Queen with the wand in hand. They're not very different. Instead of the balance, you have a flower here, a sunflower. So thinking about activity, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a transition here, of way of thinking in between the two for me. Like lots of stuff was planned here, tried, or thought about how we're going to do, what is coming, what ideas should we follow, and so on. And goes through Justice, which is selecting through them and trying to get decisions, and then looking at how to implement them. That's kind of the same card for me, but just a little different intention. Two women sitting on a throne. Like I said, they have an implement on the left, on their right hand, a sword and wand. The other one, the balance is becoming the sunflower. So it's kind of deciding and then looking how to implement it. Like I said, for me, Queens sitting and internalizing things is kind of having the patience to look at what should be done. Even if it's an active queen like the Queen of Wands, she's not moving yet, but she's thinking about what she's going to do. She's looking how to implement it. So this is kind of interesting when I look at this as the foundations, as the why of the question. We see that things are thought, that there is a lot of thought that would put into the question, and a lot of planning and preparation. So this is already a good point when I look at what could be coming. Look at the present here. We get the Two of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Five of Wands. And interesting here, looking at the first two cards, that we are going to, from 2 cups to 6, which is for me an increase in satisfaction with what is done for the moment. So this is a good point to start. What I see at the same time is that when you do a tableau like this, you have also always the weight of the cards on top going to the cards on the bottom. So apparently when looking at these two here this way, we can see kind of the things that were planned, looking forward of what can be done, are pleasing, are very pleasing in the present. That's something that Jack likes and certainly would want to implement, of course. Same thing with decisions here. They probably things that come from the past, like we said with the Six of Cups. Six of Cups traditionally is a card from the past, but here I see it a little bit different also. I see it as, you see there's two people here pleasing each other with passing one cup to the other one, and they're kind of a walled garden here, which is guarded, so it's kind of a protective area. So if we look at the protective area, I believe that the project will start small, will start like something which is, like I said, protected in the way that not going in every direction and stuff like that, but something which is self-contained. So probably a few subjects which are going to be developed, like for instance, doing always the same readings, maybe to start, or the same style, not going left and right in many different directions. I believe that's where the project is going to start. But of course, with the two of cups here, there is a lot of things to like about it. Five of Wands here is kind of a card where put things in competition. So we can see, if we look from here to here, kind of an expansion. We go from things we like, pleasant and so on with the cups to more action. Wands are action. So we see here putting a few things in competition. That's I could see this two different ways compared to the project. The first one is, like I said, with the walled garden, it's kind of starting small with things that Jack knows well, that he likes doing, not expanding to that much, just a little bit, and then here expanding this to other things, like putting several projects in competition and trying to look at the ones that he likes or not, or what he can do with it. At the same time, I could see this as fighting against competition, which is also a real possibility. Instagram is full of readers too, so you'll have to fight with other people, and that's what I can see here, like a healthy competition with others, and with the queen on top, and the experience on the queen waiting on this, I could see this as something very healthy for the Instagram page. It's kind of getting into control of what's going to happen, of what's happening here, and the queen knows. The queen is someone who can rule their domains, her domain. So it's someone who knows how to act, who knows how to control this. So I believe that competition here is going to be healthy and going to be very good for what's going on. And if we look at the future, kind of interesting too. Also, we start with the Knight of Swords, and then we get the Eight of Wand, and then the Queen of Cups. And cards here, we really have movement going from right to left, left to right. It's kind of, we see an opposition here in two cards where we see the knight going into one direction. At the same time, we see the wands going in the direction of the queen here. So I would say, when I look at these three cards, that there will be action going mostly in that direction and going away from the knight. Knights are, excuse me, very active. Uh, that's the one who are the most active in my system in the tower, and you will see this one going really full speed on his horse, but going to the left here, so probably going to thinking as we have swords. Swords is the mind, as ideas, and we see someone sometimes going to the left, so going to the past, so going back to all this, if we could look that way, and having sometimes kind of a mental battle, trying to see where to go, and sometimes going back to what was going here. So more competition to see what's going on and how this could evolve. But at some point, turning away from this to get some more action here with the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands for me is all the messages that come to the page, like all these ones are going down this way, or parallel, you see a lot of them. So for me, it's a lot of messages going to the page, a lot of action landing on the page here. So I believe when I look at this, that these discussions we were seeing here and here, is these cards are the following of these. We could see that's one being a follow-up of what's going on, and this one going to the left, we could see him going back to here. So all these mind discussions, internal discussions and so on, with how to compete with others and how to see which projects to implement and so on is extremely healthy, because we see here in the Eight of Wands that all the wands are aligned, which was not the case here. Here you see kind of disruption, things going in every direction. Here, it's like all ducks are in a row. Everything is going the same place, landing at the same place. So you see rectification, which in my opinion is good. It's going to be a lot of action. And you see the queen at the end, which is very interesting. We had a queen on top, we had a queen on the bottom, so we get kind of the same attitude, except that the first one on top was about action. The one on the bottom is about looking at that cup. So we get someone here who is satisfied of the result she's getting. See that queen looking at the cup. We could say also that by extension she's looking here at all the action that's happening in the page, and we could see this like Jack, first of all, is going to be happy of the result, emotionally satisfied about what he's doing, but at the same time I could see this queen is followers on Instagram. It could be someone else, the people looking into his page and really liking what they see and the action they see. So I believe when I look at this that we have something very beneficial for him. It's a great idea to open that page. Wishing him the best with it. I think it's going to be a great project. And now, last thing, as usual, of course, if you like my videos and you would like to know when more are coming, please subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get a notification every time. Thank you.